This week on the Tech on Tap podcast, we unveil the latest converged infrastructure offering from NetApp with VMIS herself, Melissa Palmer.
Welcome to the Tech on Tap podcast with Justin Parisi, Glenn Sizemore, and Sully the Monster.
I love NetApp. Oh, yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Tech on Tap podcast. My name is Justin Parisi. On the phone with me today, Mr. Glenn Sizemore. Hi.
How you doing, Justin?
Doing swell. You're converged.
I am
right?
converged. I'm very converged. Lots of layers.
Have you heard any news on that front at all?
Yeah. There's a high pressure zone coming in from the east.
Yeah.
We're thinking maybe flurries. It's hard to tell.
But I mean, like in the rumor mill, I mean, has there been anything kicking around? I mean, have you been word on the street, the grapevine, on the down low?
Oh, are you talking about the completely new offering that we're here to talk about today that no one's known about?
Forget it. You don't know anything,
for like
Glenn.
7-8 months.
Jeez, man, come on. I thought you were plugged in. I thought you were the man to know things.
No, dude.
Forget it. We're gonna bring in the expert.
Okay.
Hi, Melissa.
Hey, Justin. How are you?
You've been promoted.
Have I? Really?
Yes, you've superseded Glenn.
That is an honor.
We needed an expert.
We needed an expert. We were not getting the job done here. It's the death of expertise in here. And, I mean, what we need is someone to deliver the facts on this podcast.
A fact. One of us is a VCDX, and it's not me.
It's also not me. That leaves you,
I guess
Melissa.
That leaves me. What do you know? I guess I am the expert in the room.
All right, so just because we know who you are and you're world-renowned, let's go ahead and give the listeners who don't know who you are a little background. So if you could tell us who you are, what you do, and how to find you on the social.
I would love to. My name is Melissa Palmer. I've been here at NetApp for about 5 years now. First as an SE, and now I'm a solutions architect in the Converged Infrastructure Group. I am a VMware certified design expert, and you can find me on the Twitters at VMIS33.
I heard you had a blog, too. Do you have a blog?
I do. It's vmis.net.
Wow, you have your own URL. That's so cool.
I do. You should get one.
I do. As we alluded to, there may or may not be something new coming down the pipe in the converged infrastructure space. And Melissa Palmer is here to give you the lowdown. So, Melissa, what is it?
I'm so excited to be here today. It is called nFlex, and it is a jointly engineered converged infrastructure offering from us, NetApp, partnering with Fujitsu.
What?
Yes.
I like how Glenn acted like he had no idea this was coming.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I did not know the name was nFlex until she just said that.
So was that your name, Melissa?
I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. But it is a pretty cool name.
All right, so nFlex. What is that?
So nFlex, like I said, it's a brand new converged infrastructure offering. One of the coolest things was that we at NetApp jointly engineered with Fujitsu. So we have a huge engineering team working on it, a huge go-to-market team, a huge, executive level team. Everybody's kind of come together to create this offering for everyone. And the beauty of nFlex, if I kind of had to say the beauty of it, is that it's really simply orderable from the factory, right? So you order your single SKU, and it comes fully configured from the factory, which is something a little different for us. And from there, let's say I have my configuration and I need to change things for it. I need some more servers or something that's all factory configurable. It shows up on the customer site and you're ready to roll running, at this point, VMware vSphere on top of this infrastructure.
So this is a product, not an architecture.
No, this is a product. This is something you order a SKU and it shows up on your loading dock and you're ready to roll.
Is it on NetApp's price list, Melissa, or is it just available through Fujitsu?
It's actually on NetApp and Fujitsu's price list. So regardless of whether you order it from us at NetApp or Fujitsu, you're going to have the exact same customer experience and the same ease of ordering.
What is that currently? What solutions do we have in the catalog here at launch?
So right now we have 3 different base solutions powered by AFF. So I want to start with the compute layer, since that's going to be maybe a little new to some of our listeners, because it is the Fujitsu Primergy CX400 M4 platform, which is a 2U chassis that can have 4 blade servers in it. So we're using the 2560 server. And within the different server configurations, the big thing that you're going to change is the RAM, right? So we have 3 configurations at launch. The M30, which launches with 4 servers. The M50, which launches with 8 servers. And the M70, which launches with 12 servers. So that M70 model, that's our big high-performance model that's going to have those 12 servers. And it's also going to have the AFF A300 in it. And the M30 and the M50 have the AFF A200.
Awesome. Couple different scale points there. Any workloads that we're targeting specifically?
So we're starting with VMware vSphere, and it's basically any VMware vSphere workload you have in your environment, which is basically anything today.
Yeah.
Everything's virtualized. And I also want to mention our switching platform that we're using for this. We're using the Extreme Networks VDX 6740. So we have a pair of 6740s for data, and then we have a single 6740T for management.
VDX switches, man. I haven't seen those in a long time.
They're great.
Bringing me back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pioneered converged back when FCOE first started.
So very appropriate that we're using them in this converged infrastructure offering.
Indeed. So what about support? What does that look like?
Really simple. You just call 1-800-NetApp, one call, one vendor, and we're going to support the full solution stack.
Awesome.
So switches, server, storage, just call us.
And availability, do you know, are we worldwide yet, or is this aimed at a specific region initially?
So right now we're launching it in EMEA because I believe that's where most of our joint Fujitsu and NetApp customers are right now. We actually have thousands of joint customers, so there's really been a big demand for a solution like this.
Awesome.
And this is strictly vSphere stuff, so VDI implementations for now, or are we going to expand that in the future?
So right now, our first offering is going to be VMware vSphere, but we will be expanding in the future.
All right, cool. So, is it just a box that gets delivered? I mean, or is it like a unit you have to rack?
Well, that's kind of up to the customer. So you can order the rack of the equipment, and it shows up ready to go, or you can also order it unracked if that's your kind of thing.
How many U would it take up in a rack, do you think?
It would depend on which configuration you're using, sir.
Oh, so you have like different...
What's that M70 footprint?
So the big boy, that would be 12 Primergy servers. So that would be 6U there, an IFF A300, which is another 3U, a shelf of disk, which is another 2U, and then 3 U's of switching. So one of you guys do my math for me.
14.
14.
I'm sure that's wrong, but close enough.
42.
75.
Sorry, that's the answer to the
42 is
universe.
absolutely wrong.
That's the universe's answer. Sorry.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So we can rack it up if you want to. You can buy your own self-contained unit. What are some use cases that people would be buying a converged infrastructure for us? I mean, I know we kind of covered that before a FlexPod, and I know it's just vSphere implementation, but let's talk about why people would want something like this.
Simplification, right? So one, simplified ordering and procurement. So I order my single SKU. I always know how much my SKU is going to cost. It shows up ready to run and we're good to go. Another reason is we're using best-in-class components, right? We're using those Fujitsu Primergy servers. We're using our NetApp AFF storage and our Extreme switching. Those are components a lot of customers are already familiar with, which means they can have complete confidence going forward that they know how to manage everything from an operational perspective. They can use things like VMware vCenter Server. Every component has a plug into VMware vCenter Server, so that could be a central point of management. And we also have Fujitsu Server View Infrastructure Manager, which is something very familiar to Fujitsu customers, and that can kind of be a converged management platform for the system as well.
Do you see any use cases arising where you have customers that are interested in keeping diverse hardware or diverse servers in their data center? Some people are really hung up on not having the same stuff deployed across all environments. Is there a use case where I want to have like
into that?
Yes, I mean, like, you haven't run into that? There's some weird people out there. So Glenn used to work in the government. Did you have that issue?
Oh God, yeah, man. That was like one of our core tenets was, we would just look at the data center, and if you didn't have enough, it needed to be not all one thing. Like you would buy into stuff just to get some diversification so that you could get leverage on your vendors.
So that's really funny you say that, because I came from an environment where they picked a single server vendor and they wouldn't let anything else into the environment. It was a big company, yeah. So it's
I'm not
go either way.
Yeah, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not sure that either one of those is actually the right way of doing it. Having been a little bit on.
Well, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you are a customer that is looking to get some diversity into your environment and you're not currently a Fujitsu Primergy customer, this would be a great way to get you started.
I'm personally of the opinion that they're both kind of weird.
I know, right?
Because, I mean, the reasoning shouldn't be, I want different things or I want the same things. The reasoning should be, I have a business use case for this. Let me deploy because of that. But in the case of converged infrastructure, the business use case is simplicity and ease of deployment and not having to worry about how to configure the thing.
Yeah, this really, in my mind, this comes down to a build versus buy type scenario. And in the nFlex scenario, we are providing a whole stack buy option where you can just show up with a problem and click buy, and we're going to ship you the solution. And it's been engineered to solve exactly that problem. And if we don't have a product in the catalog that solves the problem that you have, well, tell us about that, and the product management team will start to build those requirements, and we'll add it to the portfolio eventually.
Exactly. And another good point to mention is, so we have, like I mentioned, our 3 base configurations. Within there, we can also absolutely scale. We have some exceptional abilities here. So we pick our base platform. We can add additional RAM to compute nodes. We have different RAM configurations. And we also have different storage options, right? So we'll have a base, let's say our M30 comes with 12 drives, 12 960 gig drives. We can add more drives to that if our requirements determine we need more space. So there is some customization within the platform, and things can be customized as they need to. It's not an all or nothing.
So Melissa, is this available today?
It is not. It will be available in February, but we just kind of wanted to get everybody excited about it, let everybody know what's coming so people can start planning as they're coming up with those infrastructure refreshes and they have those new products coming out.
If a customer or potential customer is listening to this podcast and this sounds like something that they're interested in, where should they go?
Head right on over to blog.netapp.com. We have some great launch blogs right there, and that'll give you some additional resources as well.
Will they be shipping with chocolate hearts for Valentine's Day?
Whom among us does not love infrastructure?
I can definitely take the chocolate heart request back to Fujitsu and NetApp product management and see what we can do.
I would recommend against it because it'll melt. And you're going to end up
true. No one wants
having
to
to buy
end
new
up with
stuff.
a chocolate-covered server, do they?
So we just about touched what there is here. I do think we need to dive a little bit more in and give the listeners a better idea of what they could run on these various different scale points, M30, 50, and 70. Have we done any kind of workload work at all just to kind of be able to put a box around it? Okay.
So we started with VDI.
Oh, perfect.
Look at who doesn't love VDI? It is the year of VDI.
It's been the year of VDI since 2007.
Yeah, okay. It still is. This year's the year of VDI.
I agree.
So if we start with our M30, our smallest configuration, that's about 300 VDI desktops. Our M50 is about 1,200 VDI desktops, and then the M70 is like 2,000 VDI desktops. As I mentioned, we can scale the components independently as we need to. So even if we start with that M30 with the 4 CX2560 servers, we can scale that up to 16 servers. So we can scale any of these up to 16 compute nodes.
Oh, okay. So we're not making any changes to the architecture between the M30, 50, and 70. These are just purchase points.
Exactly. And then additionally, we can add, of course, more disks up to the platform limits of the A200 and the A300.
All right, Melissa. So the new nFlex sounds fantastic. It sounds like we're going to have some options out there for our converged infrastructure needs.
It is exceptional, and I'm really excited to have our customers be able to buy this.
So, Melissa, if we wanted to reach you again on social media, how would we do that?
You can find me on Twitter at vmiss33 and my blog, vmiss.net.
All right. So, vmiss, thanks for joining us today and talking to us about nFlex. I was going to call it nFlex.
Thank you for having me, and don't forget to check out the nFlex launch blogs on blogs.netapp.com.
All right, that music tells me it's time to go. If you'd like to get in touch with us, send us an email to podcast@netapp.com or send us a tweet at NetApp. As always, if you'd like to subscribe, find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher, or via TechOnTapPodcast.com. If you like the show today, leave us a review. On behalf of the entire Tech on Tap podcast team, I'd like to thank vMiss for joining us today. Thanks for listening. So, vMiss.
Yeah.
Been blogging a lot lately?
Oh, yeah.
Been blogging.
Doing some blogging?
You know, the usual.
The usual. Totes blogging.
For sure.
I still think you got one of the coolest logos. I love that rocket ship.
Thank
Is
you.
it just me that's getting off on this?
Rockets are cool.
They are.
Hey man, I got the Lego Saturn V. We're putting it
So
together.
do I.
I'm so excited.
I bought it under the guise of purchasing it for my toddler.
Oh no, I bought it for
Made
me.
myself feel better about buying it.
Oh, whatever, man. 2,000 pieces of educational history.
No. 1969. Get it right.
Whoa, that is apropos.
I stand corrected.
Well, I mean, isn't that the year?
Yes. That's the
See?
whole point.
Yeah,
Everything
that's
has a
actually
reason.
incredibly impressive. There's probably like some little piece in there that's just like 27 pieces that go into a little stand that is way overcomplicated to get the count right, but it's worth it.